All right, let's move over to a catchweight bout at 130 pounds here as Matt Danger Schnell comes in at plus 475, taking on the short notice replacement Alessandro Costa, who comes in at minus 650. Now, Schnell struggling, right? Look at all that red that you see in his last 5 here. His last win was against Jimmy Flick, where he was able to stop the takedowns of Flick and then just outstrike him on the feet. But then we saw him get quickly submitted by Joseph Morales the last time we saw him. I'm always surprised when we see Schnell on the belt order, right? I always think he's either retired or gotten cut by the UFC, but somehow he manages to hold on to a roster spot, which I'm not mad about. He's a fun and entertaining fighter. Whenever he steps foot in the cage, there is a chance that he could go home with the Fight of the Night award. And I think that's why the UFC continues to keep him on their roster. But the issue is, he always gets finished, right? More often than not, he's getting finished. 2 of his last 3 losses have been by submission. He is 2-5 in his last 7 fights. I believe he's been finished in every single one of them as well. And that's kind of the issue with him. Like, he has pretty decent boxing. He's very slick with his hands, good hand speed, maybe some poor striking defense at times. His submission defense is also a big no-no in his game, even though he has a pretty aggressive submission game himself, but he constantly finds himself either getting clipped, getting caught in submissions, and then he ends up, just losing by getting finished, and it's not a good look. And that's why it's been harder and harder to trust him throughout his career, because he just makes a little bit of a slip up, his opponents slap on a submission or find that chin, and they just put him away. And that's very unfortunate, because I think Schnell is definitely better than the 17-10 record that we see on his professional career. Now, this weekend, he takes on a very dangerous short notice replacement here, and Alessandro Costa, who got a nasty body shot KO against Stuart Nickel last time out. But it's been a bit of a roller coaster for Costa, who is now 3-3 in his 6 wins. In 6 fights with the UFC. He's been exchanging wins and losses the entire time. His losses coming to Steve Erceg, and then Alden Correa in his last 2 fights. The Correa fight was actually a short notice replacement for Correa, and I'm sure Costa kind of regrets that, considering how Correa just absolutely battered him. Outstruck him in the first round, outgrappled him in the second round, and then outstruck him and finished him with a knockout in the third round as well. But luckily, Costa was able to bounce back with that pretty dominant victory over Nickel. He is a BJJ black belt. You often see Diego Lopez in his corner and vice versa. He has some nasty calf kicks, which we saw on display against Kevin Borjas. Good power in his hands, nasty body shots as well, like we saw against Stuart Nickel. But I would love to see him lean on his BJJ a little bit more to try to find submissions and stay a little bit safer in some of these fights. Not saying he hasn't tried, but if he tried a little harder, I think he would be a little bit more dominant in those positions. The guy's just absolutely stacked as well, right? Very strong, very powerful, has some speed, especially early on in fights. Okay cardio as long as he's not being pressured like he was against Alden Correa. And a guy, in my opinion, who has kind of underachieved in the UFC thus far. But this weekend, he has the opportunity to finally string 2 wins together in the UFC, and given the fact that he is minus 650 here against Matt Schnell, I think he has a pretty good chance of doing so. I think Costa will go out there. I think he'll put the power and pain on Schnell, and I think it's just a matter of time before he either finds a knockout or a submission. The line that I'm going to lean with more here is going to be Costa by submission. I think he eventually either clubs and subs Schnell or takes this fight to the ground, finds a dominant position, finds a choke, and submits Matt Schnell. And I think we got a pretty decent number on that Costa by submission prop. I think we were getting about plus 500 from what I saw. That line may have come down by the time you guys actually see this breakdown, but I think Costa will be looking to get that submission here. And I love the number that we're getting on it. So look for Costa to dominate here. I don't mind him as a parlay piece either. I think he dominates Schnell and eventually locks up a submission victory.